You want to start? Call the meeting to order. The Griggs County Commission. Stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Take the roll. John. Here. Dale.
Here.
Ron.
Here.
Sean is absent today and Troy's here. Okay. We'll take a look at the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? I see. Go ahead.
I was going to say Title 6 needs to have the I after the V.
It says Title 4. I know.
I'm sorry.
You got it pretty close.
Dyslexia strikes again.
Anything else?
I'll move to approve the agenda as corrected.
Been moved by Ron to approve the agenda as corrected. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, the next thing is the minutes from the October 9th meeting. Any additions or corrections to the minutes from the October 9th meeting?
I move to approve the October 9th minutes as submitted without reading them. Forget the word.
It's been moved by Ron to approve the meetings minutes from the October 9th Commissioners meeting as presented and dispense with reading of the minutes. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by John. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, and now from the special meeting on October 9th at 6:30, was the budget hearing for the 2016 budget. Would you please review those minutes?
I move to accept the October 9th meeting minutes as presented and dispense with the reading.
Been moved by John to approve the minutes from the special meeting on October 9th and dispense with the reading of the minutes. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to the bills. Sam, did you look into that?
I did. It was getting taken out of. It was the right, budget, but the wrong account number.
Okay,
So that
that
one's not.
fixed it?
That fixed
Okay.
it. So it's
Thank
not going
you.
over anymore.
Oh, you said this is not over, okay. I should have read my
That's
note
okay.
first.
On the Griggs County, the job service one, the numbers on the left-hand side are the amount that's going to be coming out of each one of those budgets, and on the right side, that's how much they're over already. The KLJ engineering, that's with the reimbursements. The North Dakota Secretary of State, that one is, it doesn't have a budget in the general election miscellaneous, but there is money in that budget. It just wasn't coming out of any other line that made sense. There was like election workers, meals, and canvassing board, so I thought it should come out of this one.
Yeah, it seemed reasonable.
On the job service, where's the money budgeted? What department is that budgeted under?
It's spread over the departments.
It's
Road,
over all of us.
CWB, VSO.
But
Isn't that a fixed premium?
It was last year, and it was down because we had discounts, and this year we didn't get those discounts, so it went up significantly. And so we've been in contact with job service to see what we can do about this for next year, but as of this year, it went up significantly.
We had discounts based on,
non-claims, on non-claims, and then we had people quitting and then collecting unemployment. So,
okay.
So job service went up horribly this year, and so that's where we're sitting.
so that there's a job service line item in the general budget.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was one that was transferred to the general fund, right? So I see in 2016, we've got money in it, in the general fund. But I think in the past, it was probably back with Oasis and Social Security, maybe? I think it was. I
Yeah, you
haven't
could be
called it
right.
yet, But I think it was back here someplace before, because I was trying to see how much I budgeted before.
And this is a quarterly charge? Or, okay, so there'll be one more. It'll go over whatever the balance on this is.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Then there's money in the general fund in the reserves to cover this. We'll have to amend the budget again to do the cover this.
Right.
And then the FEMA road repair, is that the 2011 flood money? There's quite a few of these that say FEMA
Yes.
road repair.
Yes,
So that's coming out of the, not the 2009. but
it is the 2009.
Oh, 2009.
Yep.
All right. I thought that one we were done with, but apparently not.
No,
It was carrying a balance.
Yeah, no, that's
but we did amend that budget to have a zero. So we need to probably amend that back again.
Didn't we change it to away from zero?
The 9.
I think we were going to, but we decided that we couldn't do that.
Because I thought it was to amend the budget this year to be zero expenses so that we could carry it over to next year so that you could use
At one
that.
time we were doing that. But no, it looks like on page C16, the budget was 28,000. Like I say, at one time we were gonna have it zero, but then it went back and forth a couple of times. But what I see, I showed us 28,000
Yeah.
in 2016, so I'm sure we're all right there.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's just going to, that 28,000 that we show coming out of the 2015 year end, that will be amended now, so
It'll just be something less getting carried forward.
there'll be less being carried forward, that's all that'll happen.
Oh, yeah, that's right, we're still in.
We're still in 15, so
Yeah, that's
we,
right.
we showed that balance of 28,000 still available at the end of the year, and all that'll happen is there'll just be a lesser amount available, and it'll carry over into 16. So
Those are
it'll
just
it'll just be a two-line change.
I mean, that's an estimate, so, I mean, we didn't know this was coming. So.
Right.
Yeah, and there's money there to do it. And,
Yep.
and Yeah, same with 50,000 or wagon flood, it's the same one.
We also got 2 other ones in the mail and brought to my office after the bills had been presented. We had the Abraham, and then also TJ Electronics, for Kelly. Kelly needs some battery backups for the computers in the courtroom. So that's, Travis got her the invoice right away, so that's what those are. If we could get those added to the bills.
There's an invoice here from Abraham Sales for $187.50, and what that is for the 60 amp breaker that was added to the standby unit. That 60 amp breaker was necessary to operate the emergency system, the emergency circuits within the new building during an outage. It wasn't in there when the generator was delivered. Apparently it wasn't spec'd when the generator was bid, and it needed to be added before Bergstrom's could hook that circuit up to the generator. So they ordered it and they came and installed it. Now that's what that $187.50 is. And then the other one is TJ's. That's just for 2 450 watt 750 VA UPSs for 2 PCs. So they're $110 a piece. For a total of $220. So.
The $24,726 to Bank of North Dakota is the
Lease payment for fall of 2015.
Is the payment that Jim Broughton got for November?
I think so. Or no,
no.
it's for this.
It's
for October.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the vouchers or the bills?
What happened with Jerry's auto?
Wayne hit a deer.
Wayne hit a deer, okay.
Yes. So that was submitted to insurance, and so.
Anything else?
I move to review the September vouchers as presented.
It's been moved by John to pay the September vouchers as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion?
Maybe we should talk about that lease payment. I mean, if it wasn't that this was in litigation, I would be dead set against making that payment, being that we aren't in the building. But for the sake of moving this thing forward, I think we should pay it until we're determined what happens at the outcome of the litigation.
I agree. I don't think it would bode well for the county to be out of compliance with the lease at this point in time.
Not until there's a determination made on what exactly our liability is there.
Right. Any other discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Ron?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Title 6, we need Jamie for that. Have you heard from Jamie? Has anybody heard from Jamie?
I called, left a message with him yesterday, and he didn't really like that after, so.
Well, for now, I don't think we can, I don't know enough about that. D&D roofing.
Is that it?
It's on the,
It's just on the agenda.
Oh, okay, but there's no.
I didn't-
Nothing in the packet.
on the roof at the social services building. Dale called me yesterday afternoon, and he called me back again this morning on the county shop, so that's why nothing got in the packets. On the social services building, he crawled up on that roof and looked at it, and he thinks that one more downspout is required if that water's getting so deep up there that it goes over the top of the membrane where it comes up along the wall. But he is going to take that flashing off and make sure that it's adequate where the flashing covers the membrane as it goes up the vertical wall on the east side of that building. And he's proposed to do that and repair anything if it needs to be, and put new flashing on, and then add another outlet for the water and another downspout. He estimated it was going to cost about $1,800 to do that.
Should we wait until he does more investigative work before we make a decision? Or you said he was gonna remove some flashing and.
Well, if something needs to be fixed, that's in the 1,800.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's done investigating.
Oh, okay.
He recommended that that's what we do. He just figured it'd take three men one day, and they get that roof buttoned up so that it doesn't do that anymore.
I'd make a motion that we authorize D&D Roofing to make that repair.
It's been moved by John to authorize D&D Roofing to repair the roof on the social services building. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. I will let him know. And then he also crawled up on the county shop. Hi, Dooney. The county shop roof is leaking, and he put that roof on there. He thinks it was 25 years ago. So in many cases, in my experience with membrane roofs, which isn't that extensive, that is about what they last, I think. Anyway, he is recommending that we do one of two things. I mean, he understands the budgetary constraints of a county government, and we just approved the budget for 2016. He thinks the fix for that roof is to replace it. We remove the ballast, take the old membrane off, and install a new membrane, and then put the ballast back on there. Cost of doing that, he estimated at $27,245. He said if we're not in a position to do that at this time, he said they could patch it, they could get it so it didn't leak. He didn't know how long it would last. He figured at least a few years. and he thought that would be about a $2,500 cost. From that standpoint, we'd have to make a decision on what we do here. We're not in a position to put in certificate of indebtedness in place, because the certificates of indebtedness that are in place right now, albeit they weren't set up according to the century code, nevertheless they exceed the amount of taxes that have been levied and not collected from the previous year. So there's no way to utilize that form of financing to do this. I don't know that we're going to have enough carryover budget reserves to do it in 2016. So,
Well, there is in the road department budget, we're still carrying $700,000.
true. I was thinking in the county buildings, but
Right. But now keep in mind that we had about 1.3 million in the road department, and we had to use 600,000 of that just to satisfy the budget for this year. So that $700,000 will be required unless something changes for next year, just to meet our obligations of running the road department. And after that, then we've got real problems, because we've only got enough room for another 5 mills run, if the voters would approve it.
right.
So if it carries forward like it looks like it did this year and into next year at this current rate, we'll be facing a deficit of about somewhere around $500,000 in the road department for 2018. And the following year it gets worse, because the motor graders
Lease
lease expires, and to buy the lease agreement out to keep them would be $680,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, 670.
The payments that we had in place for the last 5 years only paid down $250,000 worth of equity. So even if we were going to keep the motor graders, it would be almost 3 times the payment just to keep them. To trade them, there's no equity left in them. There's a guaranteed buyout, so we have 0 equity left in them. To trade them and go up to 4 new motor graders would probably take the payments we have now times 4 or 5. So there's a real, that's kind of off topic, but this is the roof, and there's a real need to start addressing this road department now, because we can't wait until down the road and faced with making huge cuts. And huge cuts wouldn't even do it. There's just, the process was started quite a while ago where it was not able to sustain itself, but by using its reserves, and that's the position we're in. So we could do the roof, and we could take it out of there, or we could budget it for next year out of there, but it's still coming out of it's still adding to the problem we have with the road department.
On the roof, I always call my insurance agent just in case, and a lot of times I've been pleasantly surprised that my insurance agent would come out and say, yeah, that looks like some hail damage, but I don't know. With a commercial roof, that might not be the case, but residential,
I don't know.
It's an option.
it wouldn't hurt to have our insurance agent look at it and say, how was this roof damaged? It just, and they might.
Is there damage here?
Yeah, and they might pay some. Is that something you could do, Samantha?
I could
Or
contact
I guess.
Amber.
You know the agent?
Amber Dahl, yep.
Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
On just the road, or both the road and the social services?
The social services one isn't damaged.
Oh, okay, so just.
Has anybody from the county crawled up there?
I don't know that.
Okay.
They watch it leak from inside.
I mean, we could certainly get out and look at it. I mean, that's not a big deal to get up there. I can go look at it.
Okay. So we'll wait on that one. I mean,
Just have to wait and see what,
okay. We'll go back to Title VI, Jamie. Are you ready to talk about that?
Yeah, I have a preliminary Title VI plan.
Is that what's in the packet?
That's what's in the packet. It's actually pretty much a direct copy of most of the drawings. One thing that I haven't done, and I'm holding off until hopefully we get in the Corals completely, there's an ADA compliance plan and it's kind of an ADA compliance audit that I have to go through, or someone has to go through and look at, and if there's any improvements that need to be made, or any changes to be ADA compliant, such as stairs or water fountains or that sort of thing. I haven't done that because I'm hoping that we can get in the building and be completely ADA compliant before we waste the time to do that.
But we don't know when we're gonna get in there. I don't know that we can wait to do that.
I don't know. Can we implement this?
We have an elevator, we have a stair lift, I mean.
Right. And I would say that for the most part, this building is ADA compliant.
Right.
I guess what I've seen, Ramsey County ran in a situation where their Title VI was audited. They had a Title VI plan in place, and as long as we have a plan in place and it needs to be changed, you get 180 days, I believe, to make the additions or corrections to the plan if you're audited.
Can our plan be to get into there within 180 days?
Well, and I'm not certain, but I think that was kind of what I was going to go for, was that there's no use to putting money in this building and get into that facility as soon as we can.
Right, but why not audit this building and if there's something that is deficient, say the plan is to move it into.
I guess I would recommend that you adopt this portion of the plan so we have something on the books, and let me continue adding to it as we go over the new one. That way, if feds come in and say, well, where's your Title VI plan? Well, we have it, but it might need improvements. And if they come in, we have a plan and we can update it. Excuse me, at least we're not punished because we have a plan in place. And if it's not complete or not up to their standards, at least we have a plan that we can improve on.
So this goes, this, do we have a Yiddish translator on staff?
No, and that's, well, in small counties, this is where we run into problems because we don't have anyone that can probably a translator anyplace.
English isn't one of the options.
Can't post a sign that English is spoken here? Wow.
Oh, it's an executive order. Ooh. Wow.
Well, for the language assistance request form, they send that to you.
Yeah, to the Title VI person stuff. And we'll have to post the sign around the courthouse and the different offices or the front door.
Okay. Any discussion on the Title VI plan?
My recommendation is to approve it as presented and need to make additional changes or additions to it. I will bring those to you as they come.
Makes sense. I get your move to approve the Title VI plan. That's the move.
Been moved by Ron to approve the Title VI plan as submitted. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion on the Title VI plan? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Jamie. South Central Dakota Regional Council.
sounds like they'll be here on November 20th to go over it.
To approve it, they would like to approve it at that date.
There's a public hearing on the 16th of November
Oh, okay, and then,
to integrate public comment into the plan.
okay.
I do have a copy of it in my office if any of you would like to read it.
Yeah, it's on the website too, I saw.
So we really don't have to do anything on this, it's just for information.
Just the notice.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at the plans, see if you have anything to add to it, and public hearing and. Okay, North Dakota Association of Counties Conference.
That was that email that I sent out to you guys probably yesterday.
That was just a notice also.
Seeing if you guys wanted to go for supper that night, we do have to let Jenny know. Are any of you guys gonna be out there?
I don't think I'm gonna make it.
No. Okay.
Well, that's on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday.
No, I can't go.
So this would be Sunday night out in Bismarck that you would.
Okay.
Oh, nobody for that?
Cool.
Okay.
I don't know if that's such a good idea, getting so close to the engineers like that when it's supposed to be a non-biased opinion when you hire them.
That's kind of what that whole conference is, and I haven't figured out what's the even be doing.
Yeah. We can't pay you for your support, but we can buy you lots of dinners for it.
Okay. North Dakota DOT Safety Division contract, on page 36.
This was the information that was brought up at the last meeting. You guys wanted more information from Bob. Bob had told me that he had talked to you, Troy, about it a little bit.
Right. This was on our agenda last meeting, and this is the North Dakota DOT grant to pay overtime up to $3,000. And when I read through the stipulations of the contract, it just seemed like it was so onerous that it wouldn't be worth it. Because we'd get paid for the overtime, but we'd spend as many hours in the office verifying the hours we spent when I talked to Bob yesterday, he said the contract is more onerous than the actual record keeping, and that Wes is the one who generally does this, and he does his own paperwork and sends it into the state, and he just said it isn't that huge of a deal. So he is recommending that we accept this contract, but it's still up to you guys.
Well, they just pay the overtime.
Correct.
We still have to pay the expense of the vehicles and all the rest of it.
Yep.
And I understand that they're enforcing, that the laws are on the books for seatbelts and the impaired driving, and I think we have to enforce those laws, but I'm not so sure we have to exploit them. And that's kind of what we're doing here. Why do we pick out those two laws and then slate them for additional enforcement? I don't know if that's I can't quite get my head around that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
And, it just, like I said, I don't know which way it should go, but I do know it costs us more money to do it than just the wages, so.
Right, they're,
Yeah, I mean, it looks like for some of the requirements, conduct a minimum of 2 shifts per enforcement period, conduct a minimum of 4 4-hour shifts during this period of time.
Yeah, the money can only be drawn for actual wages. So if there's $3,000 that we can get from that, they have to work that amount of money, that amount of time, overtime in order to draw it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And with what Troy said, with that much paperwork, it just makes it so onerous is a good word.
well, I mean, there's a cost to the county, even though it's 100% reimbursement to the overtime. You got the administrative time
Yeah.
and the vehicle and the gas and everything else, so I mean, we just need to decide if it's worth it for us to spend those additional resources to have a deputy work more hours.
But and the overtime, the overtime can only be used for those purposes, correct?
Yeah.
It isn't general overtime, it's for those purposes.
That's what it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm against messing with it. So, but do we even need to take any action or?
Not if you're not going to accept it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make any motion to accept it.
Okay, anybody else have any questions regarding that topic? Okay,
I mean, I still think the foreman wants to come and explain it to us, that's fair. Yeah, that's what we asked for last meeting, and no one came to explain it to us, so. But, I mean, I still think they can do that if they want, I mean.
page 61 is a letter from North Dakota Human Services scolding Ron. Actually scolding us because they want us to appoint somebody.
Yeah, apparently these groups form and they put it in their bylaws that a county commissioner from every county has to be in there.
Yeah, which is,
I don't
seems
know.
ridiculous to me.
I don't know how they can enforce, well, they couldn't enforce their bylaws any more than the building authority could.
Right.
But
What do they do for the county?
I looked on their website and it looked like they help old age people, which is what the welfare office does, I guess. Old age and drugs, maybe. I think they help if people are.
Well, I think they provide alcohol classes and evaluations for people that I think have an alcohol problem or court-ordered alcohol evaluations. Then there is a treatment unit there, and unlocked inpatient treatment unit at Southeastern Human Services in Jamestown.
And why is it imperative for us to have a board member on that board? I don't quite understand.
I don't know.
Was this the same one that we had talked about before that I had asked if Sia wanted to be part of it, but it was one of the commissioners had to be on?
I think so.
I think we've already.
Yeah, she thought it was important we had a representative there. I think that's what she related to.
But she had also expressed that it should be either Troy or Sean since you guys were on the social services board. But
Sean's not here today.
That's exactly what I thought.
seen someone on there because I think it's a circus down there. For me to get anything done from the courts, it sucks. I use them on occasion when we have a mental health or chemical dependency hearing, and I think the staff on that whole organization, I wouldn't say what I think about them, I guess.
Right, but having a quarterly board meeting
I don't think
is not going to change that.
No, I don't.
I don't understand the value.
I don't think attending there will change either.
And it doesn't preclude the court system from using the services.
No, I won't preclude them from using the services. It would just be.
I would say they have a bylaw problem. We don't have an attendance problem.
Well, what are your wishes? Are their meetings are quarterly, aren't they?
They're either 2 months or quarterly.
Do we pay a fee to them?
I don't think so. I think they're a state paid agency. Maybe Marcia can tell us. That has a little bit of insight on that. We don't pay anything with Southeast Human Services, do we?
What was the question?
Southeast Human Services, that's a complete state agency, isn't it?
Southeast.
South Central.
Or South Central? Yeah.
Serves your 9 area.
But that's a state agency, isn't it? That's not, we don't pay membership
Yes,
fee into
but
that.
it provides services to your county that your local entity cannot provide, such as the therapy, the drug and alcohol evaluations, the follow-up and so on. And it's not just social service clientele either.
And they're a private entity, correct?
No, that's a state run, that's
No, no.
one of the states.
The letterhead is from the North
Services.
Dakota Department of Human
Yeah,
Services.
there's 8 different
It's a region.
regions. Fargo has one office, Grafton has an office, Grand Forks has an office, Devils Lake, Minot, Williston, Dickinson, Bismarck, I think.
And they run independently from us, don't they? We don't have any,
Well, we don't have any budget control over them, it's all
and we don't
budget
have
like
any
a
control
state
over what they
service
do.
office.
I think the reason that they want a representative from each county is just for feedback purposes, the way I would say it. That's why I don't think we are going to be of much value.
Well, I don't think the board is gonna have any human resources control or any budget control. I think you're right. I think it's just a feedback.
Well, I mean, if anything, don't you think we should appoint a representative from social services, Marcia or Sia, as our representative and send them?
We tried that, but it's gotta be a commissioner.
And again, I think they have a bylaw problem.
That's kind of what I just.
Right.
Because I talked to Sia about that, because you guys had said that before. and
Sia knows infinitely more about what the services we need than I do.
Right.
I mean, I can go and see what the feeling is with that group. I mean, if it's just
Well,
maybe the other commissioners feel the same that are on that advisory committee. That'd be one way to reach out to them.
Well, if you want to go, I mean, again, somebody that has some understanding of what's going on. I think Sia would probably be
I do too.
the one, and I don't know why, as a commission, we can't appoint a representative. Because they don't have the ability to compel us to do anything.
No.
And we can certainly appoint a representative to attend in our, and that would be more beneficial to the county, to have someone that knows what they're talking about.
What our needs are.
What our needs are. Why not have her?
Whether it be somebody from law enforcement uses them,
Right.
or the social services. I agree. But maybe one of us needs to go to that board meeting. Maybe one of us needs to be on that board to ask the question. Because we're not going to get it done from here.
Which one of us are you talking about, Troy?
I mean, I'll do it. I don't care.
I think,
You're on the board, you're already on the,
should.
yeah.
I'm on the welfare board, so
Yeah, I think it'd be good, so I'll move that we appoint Troy Olson as the representative.
then Trina can quit scolding us until I don't show up.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved and seconded to, well, I'm the chairman, I can appoint people, I don't need a motion.
You appoint yourself?
Been moved and seconded to approve my appointment to the South Central Human Services Center Board. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. North Dakota DOT letter on page 62 regarding the TAP projects for federal fiscal year 2017. I think they're soliciting applications for that program. I guess I have not heard of any local entities that are interested in doing something of that nature.
We don't really have anything that fits into their projects. I mean, pedestrian and bicycle projects, safe roads to school and safe roads for non-drivers. I mean, man, that would be the only. I mean, maybe the school would have something in there, but that's about it.
Right, and these applications aren't due till December 31st. I think they're just trying to get the information out in everybody's hands. So we don't need to take any action on that today, it doesn't look like.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't under. Yeah, I mean, if somebody has something in the community that would fit into this program, that'd be fine.
Okay. County website.
So the other counties usually will send all the auditors a copy of a job opening or something like that are in other counties, and usually they put them up on the other counties' websites. I had asked Travis if we were doing this, and he said that it would have to be approved by you guys if you would like to do that. I have gotten other applications from other counties. Just wondering if you guys think that those should be put up on our website.
Do we put the we've been updating the applications, like for the weed control officer and stuff, we always put them on our website?
We haven't done the weed officer, no.
Okay.
But
I'd forgotten that it was there, I guess, but I mean, I just don't see anything wrong.
There's an employment opportunities button or something.
There must be.
I think so.
So do you send them out to the other auditors so they can put them up on their website?
I haven't been, no, because I didn't know that this was.
Right, right. I think it's a good idea. The more places, I mean, it's free, and if we're advertising for a particular position and somebody in another county is looking for an advancement opportunity, I don't know why it would hurt. I see all kinds of job openings in our trade magazines at the bank. I mean, that's one way that people can be upwardly mobile, is if they know of an opportunity. And vice versa, if somebody sends us a job opening, I think we should post it on our website. It doesn't hurt.
Kind of competing with ourselves that way for available positions.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it goes both ways. So we need to take action on this?
I think so. I think we would need a motion for that.
What exactly are we doing? We're just authorizing other counties to advertise on our website?
Correct.
And we're authorizing Samantha to send out our openings to other counties. So if we were looking for somebody for a road superintendent, she'd send that out to all auditors in the state if they posted it on their website.
The other auditors would send the job opening to you, and then it would probably take you 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something.
Usually I just send it right to Travis, and then Travis
Oh,
will
Travis.
step.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Because I sent it to Travis, and Travis said that you guys would have to approve for something like that.
Yeah, see, I thought you actually were uploading.
You don't maintain the website content?
Just commissioner meetings and minutes and stuff like
Okay.
that. That's my spot.
Okay. Anybody have any thoughts?
Well, just that it does kind of make sense for Samantha to do it instead of Travis, I think. That it just seems like.
Well, we need to decide if we want to do it.
Yeah, that's true. All right. I'm not against doing it.
It goes contrary to my whole business philosophy in independent business. I wouldn't advertise on my website for my competition's employees. But maybe that's a difference between.
It's not, the employees aren't the ones that are going to see our website though.
No, but I mean, we could possibly be in competition with, say we needed an auditor and we were advertising for an auditor, and Foster County was advertising for an auditor on our website. We would have to compete with them because we were the ones posting the ad for both places. Theoretically. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just said it goes contrary to what you would do in private business. You wouldn't do that. And that was hypothetical that we needed an auditor.
It's an elected position anyway.
She kind of had a worried look on her face when I said it.
I'm like, what do you want to get rid of me?
Remember, they're elected official, we can't fire you. So I'm fine with it, if that's what we want to do.
Do you want to do it?
That's fine.
Is that normal? Is that what other counties are doing?
The only thing that I guess I would kind of worry about is if I missed an email from one county and I thought it was like a junk mail and I just deleted it and then it didn't get put up on my website, but somebody else's. It's like I'm favoring one county over the other.
But this isn't any
It's
kind of
free
conflict.
advertising, so I don't think I'd get too hung up over that.
Well, and just because we vote to accept theirs doesn't mean that it's mutual. They would still have and they don't have to, just because we accept,
Right.
they don't have to reciprocate.
Right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if we,
I'm fine with it if it's beneficial to us. So I'd make a motion that we authorize Samantha to move forward with posting of job applications on our county website.
authorize Samantha to post job openings on the county website from other counties in North Dakota? Or you didn't stipulate North Dakota,
No.
other counties? Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. As long as we're on the website subject, does anybody keep track of how much traffic hits that website?
I haven't.
There must be a counter.
Usually there's a
Is
monitor.
there a counter on it?
I don't know.
I'm sure Travis has some background software where he could probably tell us what the traffic is, but there is no counter on it that I've ever seen.
Let's look.
But typically, there's probably something in his tools to show where the traffic.
I was just kind of curious
Time of day.
how many people visit the website. Old courthouse, new courthouse.
No, there's no counter on it.
I emailed the building authority trying to see if it's appropriate occupancy and haven't heard anything back from them
When did you do that?
yet. Just this week.
And all that really has to do with satisfying the DES as far as the payments go. As far as occupancy of the EOC, we can occupy it. We own it, and we're in the process of owning it, and we've paid the lease agreement. So that's just a technicality with the way I see it with North Dakota DES. So we could move into the EOC, and we can settle that paperwork with the DES at a later date. All it's going to do is tie up the payment. But if they disagree, or if we don't have a letter of occupancy, I don't think it wouldn't be in our best interest to not occupy it.
I don't think so.
That portion of it.
Has the electrical inspector been here? Has anybody heard anything?
I haven't heard anything. I suppose Brookstrom would know if anybody would probably.
Well, I should ask Bergstrom's if they closed out that certificate and sent it to the state, because the state's not going to come until they do that.
Yeah, maybe we should give a call on Monday or today or something and see what they've done. I think we should go walk through it and through the EOC and see if there's anything that jumps out that needs to be done. But I think it's ready to be occupied.
When I talked to Bob today, he said all of the desks were there, and he's got to call into Travis about when Travis could maybe be available to move computers.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine he could move, well, not, if there wasn't any problem with the electrical, I imagine he could move next week. I imagine you could too, I'm just speaking for you though.
I don't know if I'll be available next week, but I'll try to do it as quick as possible.
Yeah, we'd be out by the end of the month, is the thing, if we could.
Yeah, that would be so we could avoid another
Yeah.
$1,700 lease payment, rent payment. How about as far as the reimbursements? Have we heard anything back on that?
For the EOC,
Mhm.
I think her letter just said, send me the letter from the building authority
Mhm.
giving you, and she said, then I will process the reimbursement request. So I don't think we're gonna see anything until she gets that letter.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Brian, and Lori walked through there today. Furniture looks very nice. The floors look clean. It is very dusty.
Dusty?
They did a final cleaning, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's very dusty. That's just my input on it.
I wonder how it all got in there after the final cleaning. or if they did a good final cleaning, I imagine they got rid of the dust at one time, when they did it. I never went in there to look to see.
Let's walk over there.
Yeah.
You want to?
Oh, the weed board first.
Do you want to adjourn this
If
one?
you guys are gonna go over there and do anything, I probably would keep it.
Just
Meeting
recess.
open too.
That's fine. You got a key?
I do.
Okay, we'll take a little walk through and come back and resume.
Do I keep the recorder on right now?
You guys coming?
On old courthouse, new courthouse.
No, I don't think so.
The motion to adjourn. I'll second that motion.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 2:34 p.m. And the next regular meeting will be on November 6th at 1 p.m., followed by another regular meeting on November 20th at 1 p.m.